Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Wombs with a View, Maternal Musings with Jenny and Sylvia. I am Sylvia.
Guess that means I'm Jenny.
It is. I could be Jenny today if you want. I'll have to. Just turn your head. I'll have to show people how I have to get my hair cut then if I'm Jenny today. It's that side. Look at that. That's courage right there. I don't
know if it's courage. It's boredom. It's just boredom. And like, I'm getting old. I'm like, maybe if I shave half my hair off, I'll feel young. Did that a couple years ago with this nose ring thing, and then I keep having these moments of, am I too old to have that part pierced?
No.
I don't know.
Is there an age for it?
I don't know.
I don't think so. No, and hair grows back. I've known you've had a lot. I'm a brunette, people. I'm not blonde, right?
Yeah. I love those pictures of you with brown hair. We have really old pictures of the two of us.
I know. I was gonna in the ad today. I was gonna write, neither of us look like this, but come and join us live, and you'll see what we look like.
Yeah, we've changed for sure, but that's it's fun. Why not, right?
Why not? Hair grows back, it changes, it falls out. Anyway, I think it looks great. So today's topic, we're looking through our videos, and we hadn't really done a topic on how to prepare for pregnancy. Preparing for postpartum while you're pregnant, which I think is often overlooked. I don't remember, besides putting some stuff in the freezer, about preparing too much for postpartum. Mm-hmm. Did you?
No, I didn't. It's something that I'm on a mission to do now with our client students. It's and actually I have a whole program based on exactly that. Prepare now so that you're not scrambling. And when we teach our Rock the Cradle courses, there's actually it's divided in two sections, basically in 4 modules, and the whole second half is postpartum, which I think is just really, really special. And it's not the case for all prenatal classes, I think. And it's crucial. We spend all of this money and time and effort and energy preparing for this, maybe max 24, 48-hour period of labor, which is super important. But then I like the way Mika describes it. Our colleague Mika, she's like, and then you get home with your car seat and you put your car seat down on the ground and you think, now what?
Yeah, what do I do now?
You're a parent for the rest of your life, which is way more time than 48 hours. So let's prepare while you still have, some energy.
I was teaching our live Zoom class, prenatal classes this week, and one of the dads, he said, I'm not worried about this postpartum thing. I'm just more worried about the birth. And then I just sat there and I chuckled, because I was like, well, maybe we should be more worried about the 25 years of parenting after the birth, right? But that's I think that's a lot more challenging. I mean, birth is challenging and life-changing, and don't get me wrong. But I was like, I think we underestimate how much our lives change, and people don't want their lives to change. Some people don't want their lives to change too much, and they're not prepared for what's coming. And then it's like a bulldozer.
We don't want to scare people. One of the nicest things I ever heard actually was from a postpartum, either yoga student or client, I can't remember. And she's like, Jenny, this is so much easier than I thought it would be. And I think because I'm really on a mission to make sure that people understand that this is not going to be a walk in the park. Is that an expression?
Yeah, it is.
Not going to be a walk in the park. We haven't walked in the park in so long. No. That there are ways, and it is often addressed to the partners who come in, like you said, with that dad who's like, oh, the dad's going to cook. I remember teaching one of our Rock the Cradle classes, and we were talking about preparation, preparing food, making sure, and we'll get into more details in a moment. But and this dad, I think he just loved cooking as it is. So he's like, oh no, it's fine. I'm gonna be the cook. But dads, you need to realize, or partners, you need to realize that it's not just the person who pushed the baby out that's going to be exhausted. You're not going to be able to cook. You're not going to be able to cook.
Or just perhaps not as before, right? And then we get into that fast food and easy, quick things, perhaps that are not as healthy as mom needs it to be. I remember that's one thing I did. Everyone told me prepare food and put it in the freezer. So, but there's only so much room you have in a freezer. So after my freezer was filled, I could have used probably one of those deep freezes
for
filled
sure.
after every baby to keep me healthy. Right?
If you have space, I would say that that's one of the things that we really recommend doing is filling your freezer. There's also can we get into that for food?
Yeah, let's talk food. That's the one thing that's easy to prepare.
It's kind of the most important, because if you're not eating well, nothing's really going to go right. You need to eat and you need to sleep, and baby needs to eat and baby needs to sleep, and after that things feel a little better. But when those things aren't happening, the world kind of falls apart.
Mm-hmm.
But we like to tell people that meal trains, if you have family or friends in town, food is the most valuable thing they can bring for you. You don't need a lot of the gadgets and stuff, that people put on registries. You don't need that. And you don't need that brand new, but you do need to eat good, nourishing food. So people are going to bring you stuff, bring you some spaghetti sauce, or bring you a soup, bring you something that's nourishing. And it's, it could be a mom friend that you have who's already cooking for her family anyway. So she just makes you and your partner a little extra. And
one of my favorite gifts was from a group of friends, and they bought me a gift certificate at a catering place that did home delivery. And that was a while ago. That was 13 years ago here in Montreal. Bon, c'est bon. I know our friend Rivka has her cafe, and you can get takeout food there. There are lots of places now. I think they've clued in. I think pandemic has helped that along, that all the delivery. But yeah, so important.
Yeah, and Cafe de la Paci is Rivka. So
yes,
doula, and she's been big. She was on our show not that long ago. She's been a big part of our life. She's one of we called it the grandmama of doulas, and then she sort of questioned. Anyway, her food, she has vegetarian, super amazing, delicious, nourishing food, and that's what you want. Like, I go to clients' houses sometimes as a postpartum doula, and the fast food Uber Eats thing is going to happen from time to time. And you don't need to be idealist. Like, I'm never ordering fast food.
No.
You will order in, but like, if there's a couple bags piling up of McDonald's, Uber Eats, or pizza, and that's what you're sustaining yourself on in postpartum, it's going to make the healing process a little bit more difficult. You need to eat food that's going to help you get your energy back.
What do you recommend? What kind of foods? I know you like Indian food.
I like eating Indian
vegetarian food. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? If there's a time in one's life, even if you were a vegetarian for much of your life, if there's a time in your life where you might want to have some meat as medicine, it's postpartum.
For the iron.
Yeah, you lose a lot, right? Yeah. So it can definitely be helpful, but nice, hard. And then again, seasons, it depends on the season.
That's true. Like right now, I'm just thinking all the hearty soups and the warmth, and I mean that fits in with your Ayurvedic teachings, right? Is eating what we can grow now, along with the seasons, right? A hearty soup in the summer may not be what we're craving.
Oh, that's such a nice way. It's not how it's so nice when people have an outside. I'm not wearing my headphones. When people, it's not how I describe it, but you're absolutely right. You don't want to eat something cold in the middle of winter, right? And you don't want to eat something super hot in the middle of summer.
No.
You're right.
Yeah. So food, number one, and there are lots of I've seen the meal trains go by and the catering going by. What else should we like? I know people take prenatal classes, but that's and they are getting somewhat prepared. What about preparing for, I guess, help? Getting the help. I mean, that's where we fit in as doulas, where you go into the houses and get that extra help, particularly if people don't have help. Right now, it's harder with the pandemic.
Knowing having a support person is allowed, and that we're still working and we're not breaking any rules, we're considered essential. So that's usually helpful for most people to, you don't have to feel that you're breaking any rules by having us in there. Knowing where you're going to get the help. I think too, we spoke maybe last week about breastfeeding, and it was the same kind of advice, preparing now in advance so that you know what that help is. And I would say that that's a big part of our point today too, is breastfeeding and feeding. Baby needs to eat just like mom needs to eat, just like dad needs to eat. So if breastfeeding is not going well, who are you going to call? Who are you going to call for the support? And lining it up now, it's just one of those things. All of those books that you could read, you're not going to read them when baby's born.
No. People think they will. Oh, I'll just read, but they're because they're living in the now, right? It's hard to project yourself of how you're going to feel afterwards. That was a shock to me, how exhausted my body would feel. It took me a whole day to make a spaghetti sauce at one point, and like my husband was
Oh,
like,
your
"What?
spaghetti sauce story. Can you tell us that? Because it's so nice and it just kind of puts everything in perspective of we're not
Yeah.
laughing at anybody. We're not saying you guys are naive and
Oh
you'll see when you
no.
get there, but you'll see when you get there.
No, yeah. No. In that story, I mean, it's one of my stories is that I don't remember how old Tristan was, my son, but a couple weeks old, I guess. And I said, I'm going to make a hearty spaghetti sauce. That's easy to do. Well, he being a high needs baby, I started chopping my onions at 10 in the morning. Then I need to feed him, and he took forever to feed compared to my girls. Then I got the peppers done at about noon, and then he needed to feed again, and that took forever. And then I finally got the mushrooms done a couple hours later. Finally, my JP comes home, I don't know, 4:30. Hey, what's for dinner? And I just burst into tears because I wasn't even close to making my sauce. And he's like, I'll just go and get something. Don't worry about this. And I'll finish this up afterwards. Don't even try, right? So I was like, I think probably our stash was finished in the freezer, but just to realize that, yeah, why was I doing that? Perhaps, the wanting to be the good mom, the good spouse. I'm home all day. Why can't I put a hearty, nutritious meal on the table? But
It can
it
be
is,
so frustrating. That's one of the things
yeah.
we hear from so many of our students and clients is that it can be so frustrating when you have all of these expectations of what you should be able to do, and you kind of we use on this show all the time and in our classes, surrender, surrender, surrender. It's not
Yes.
give up, but to be more realistic with what you can actually accomplish in a day. And just being pregnant is a full-time job, and then just being a new mom is a full-time job.
Yeah.
And you kind of have to do everything.
And we do get these, powerhouse women, and oh my gosh, so how come I run a team of 20 people at work and I run it flawlessly, it goes well, and then I come home, how come I can't take care of this? I don't feel like I'm taking care of this baby well enough. And I said, it's different. It's different, and there are different expectations of ourselves, and a baby just needs us full time, right? It's 24/7, while your staff, they just need you once in a while. It's not the same thing at all. And it's and I think preparing, we were looking at our notes before, preparing food, getting the help, but also preparing ourselves, the expectations. Can we prepare our expectations, or at least be cognizant of them? Like, what are we expecting of ourselves after we give birth? Like, we
I
see
don't know
those.
if that's rhetorical.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking of that and thinking of memes like, the skinny jeans, and I'm like, no, like the media out there just perpetuates this image that is not true. It's not the real postpartum. And we're talking about it more, luckily, not us, but everybody. But I think there's still high expectations.
I would say too on that note. Yeah, I remember having a student in yoga class. Oh my God, no, I had a student. Is she watching? Anyway, I won't name you. She gave birth 4 days ago. I got a message. I feel like I got hit by a truck. Can I come back to yoga class? I was like, no.
No, you may not.
Yoga class. You can come and chat with us, but you can't. If you feel like you got hit by a truck and you gave birth 4 days ago, probably not a good time to resume your yoga practice. We get back eventually, but to keep in mind, you grew that baby and your body changed for 9 months. It's going to take at least that, if not more. And to also remember, like I often tell people that I was in way better shape postpartum than I was before I had my kids. We can be in phenomenal shape afterward. Not immediately. Give yourself a break. You still need to, recuperate and make sure all is well with the pelvic floor. Oh, and actually on that note, so we have pelvic floor exercises, but something else you can prepare for postpartum while you're pregnant is how you're going to heal the perineum. And we've talked, can you say that word for me, Sylvia?
I say the perineum.
Perineum. I think you say it anyway. We have this conversation at least once a month. But and we did do a whole show, I think not that long
Yes.
ago, on different, maybe we'll link to that show, because we
Yeah.
gave in that show a lot of different things that you prepare now, that you have at home now. You can order stuff online, or you can, go to the pharmacy, but that is definitely something you want to keep in mind now, and not sending your partner out for 15 pharmacy runs, which will happen anyway, but just the best that you can to get prepared with knowing how you're going to physically heal. So Sylvia talked about mentally preparing, we're physically healing. Yeah. Food.
Well, I'm thinking right now of like all the stuff we get for the baby at our baby showers, for those who have baby showers, and it's all, we're used to preparing. So why are many people not preparing too much for parenthood? And I mean, parenthood is different than postpartum, I guess, but I'm kind of linking it. It's like we spend lots of money and get planners to do our weddings, but then we don't prepare for marriage. It's kind of like, that's a metaphor I use all the time, like an analogy. It's true. But I find having a little bit of preparation, having the help, having your doula, getting the food, you start your parenthood journey just on a more solid foundation, or solid ground, perhaps. Maybe those are not foundations, but does that make sense?
Makes perfect sense.
Like you said, you're not scrambling. You're not scrambling. And
it depends. I mean, everybody does things differently. Some people are list people, right? And
are you
a list person? If I had a list, I would just not know where I put the list.
I'm not a list person, but I'm a Post-it person. I have like Post-its everywhere, and then I have to go through them all the time. I have my Rock the Cradle Post-its. You see,
they're absolutely lovely.
That's not always as good as well. Preparing, I had just had an idea and I've lost it, but
that's how prepared we are for this postpartum chat. It's okay. It's okay.
No, it's okay. I mean, if you're listening, let us know. Are you preparing? What are you preparing? What does that look like for you? The postpartum. What concerns? I think I was like, it's too bad we can't prepare for sleep or lack of sleep before. I think you can't store it up. I think that would be one issue that a lot of people are worried about, would be the sleep part of things. But then I was like, okay, well then how do we prepare for that? We don't have anything on a to-do list afterwards. I've gone to families' houses where they have these huge to-do lists, that all the things that they wanted to accomplish.
The tennis racket.
Yeah, our client who wanted to get his tennis racket. We love you, Aunt. We still love you, I did say, and he never did. I don't think he got it done in that 6 weeks. Oh, you are chopping. Oh, there you are.
My internet is so bad. Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can.
So another thing to prepare, please, we talk about it in our Rock the Cradle classes, but you prepare where you're going to be when you're feeding baby, because you're going to be feeding baby for a long time. So you prepare a little area or two if you have a really big home, but ideally somewhere in a nice big open space. Plan to have the screen on. It's totally okay to watch Netflix while you feed for many, many hours. The screen, have openness, have windows, have light, wherever that is. For most people it's the living room. And am I chopping up again?
You were a little bit, but we got the gist of it. Go into an open space, plan for where you are feeding, being close to.
And then you have this little station. We call it your nursing station, where you set up, you have your water bottle, you have your granola bars. Another nice thing to make and freeze when you're pregnant is like energy balls, like any kind of balls you can make with dates and some chia seeds, that kind of stuff. Roll them up and throw them in the freezer, and then you have like quick protein that's assez filling. I wish I could think of some language that it's like filling enough that is just sitting there on your stand, and preparing that area, knowing and kind of like visualize your postpartum. I think visualize a positive postpartum is probably good advice.
I like it. Yeah. So what I wanted was, prepare your help, prepare the food, prepare for your body afterwards, and preparing those expectations. Now, some people might just go with the flow. One thing I didn't prepare and I wish I had, and we teach it in our classes as well, is how to use a carrier.
Yeah.
And I was frazzled after birth, and my son, very high needs, he really, really would have benefited from being in a mama kangaroo type carrier, the cloth ones. And I couldn't get online to look at the videos. Sounds silly, right? Like when you say it that way, I couldn't get online. What do you mean you couldn't get online? A video would have taken 10 minutes. My husband, one of us could have done it, but we were just quite frazzled. And I didn't get to learn that with him, and I really would have benefited. He would have been a baby who would have I think we would have had a totally different experience. And had I known how to do it, it's very simple to do. And had I looked at that before, because we always think, oh, I'll do it when I need it. I'll learn to use my pump when I need to use it.
Those are the things. You sit down, assemble the pump, see what it looks like, get it ready, get it sterilized. Again, you don't even necessarily need a pump. You don't need that to be part of your preparation necessarily, but whatever you have
one. But if you have one,
get it out and
learn those things. Yeah.
The carrier is excellent advice, though, really. And get dad too. Get dad wrapping the carrier as well. No, I had a similar experience. I didn't realize how much, and somebody had just given us a snuggly, and we're like, oh, cool. I turned into a baby wearing freak after that. But it was just this one thing with and you're trying to figure out where the clips go.
Yeah.
But really the ideal is a nice stretchy wrap, which is, it's fine. You get used to it, but it's way easier to get used to it before you have a screaming baby in front of you waiting for you to tie that thing up.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And I just remember your blood boils, right? The anxiety just comes up, and you because your baby's crying and the hormones in your body are wanting to take care of the baby, and you're like, so I just okay, this isn't working. So I just threw it aside, and I just never got to it. And I had a structured carrier, which, an older one, and it really hurt my back. So then I just, didn't get to the store and get a good one, but had someone perhaps suggested, or a doula come to my house to show me, it would just, had I had that help, had I planned for it a little bit better, it would have been a different experience.
I'm so happy you mentioned that. That's like the carriers are lifesavers in so many ways. You have your hands free. Like so many of us have babies. If you've had friends who are say their baby will only nap when they're on them. This is the reality for, 95% of babies. It's nothing weird. It's very, very common. So if baby's going to sleep on you, at least you can go take a pee, rather than oh my God, you've got to pee, right? So okay, do I wake baby up and go to the bathroom? Do I try to walk to the bathroom? How do you pull your pants down while you're holding a baby? I don't know. I feel like we've all been there a few times. But if baby's in a carrier, you can get your pants off quicker.
Yeah, totally. That's good. Well, hey, I think we've left you all with some great tips here. Anything to add?
Go team.
High five.
No, I feel great. High five. I would say just reach out. We're here, and we're open in many, many different ways. We have all kinds of courses. We have yoga for prenatal, for postnatal. We have doula services for prenatal, for postnatal. And this is what Sylvia and I do in life, is we support women. We support families who are pregnant and who are new families. So if you can't reach out to us, who the heck would you reach out to?
It's true. It's true. Well, thank you for listening, and do send us, if you've got tips to add for everyone who's watching in the replay, please put them in the comments. We go live every second Friday now at 11:30, and we have a lot of videos. If you are looking for some information, go on the Facebook page of Wombs with a View and go click video, and you will see our faces.
There's so many. We thought this was
35 times.
This was our temporary COVID project that's now been a year long. Right?
Yeah, I know. It's been great. We get lots of information, and people are reaching out after they see this, which is great. So thank you. We are going to be talking. We have a guest coming on in 2 weeks, Emma Roman, and she is going to be talking to us about the toxins in our home. And that's a great subject. We often don't think about that until we have babies, and what are we putting in them, on us, what's in our houses. So she is an expert in that field, and lovely lady, lovely person. And she's going to come and chat with us.
You're a lovely lady. Thank you, Sylvia. Always fun.
You lovely lady. All right. Have a great week, everybody. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.